Welcome to Never Rewrite. I'm Isaac Askew.
And I'm Jeffrey Sherman. And today we're going to cover a humorous story about the consequences of having multiple sources of truth. This story takes place, it's a true story, it takes place 2008, 2009, maybe as late as 2010, at least 15 years ago. And
Okay.
like all good stories, it takes place in Canada. You don't know them.
All good stories take place in Canada.
Ah,
All right, hit me.
no, it's a Breakfast Club joke.
I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Well, you clearly are not a child of the 80s.
I'm not.
You are not. Anyway, at the time I was working in finance and I was doing market data connecting to Canadian exchanges. In this case, there were like five or six of them in Toronto. And stock exchanges send a ton of market data and they need to send it very, very fast with very, very low latency. And TCP, which is what the web runs on, is relatively slow as a protocol. And it's relatively slow because it has reliability built in. If you have TCP, you get guaranteed that every message will get there. And it will handle all the retries and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Market data for financial systems, it runs on broadcast UDP, which is not a reliable protocol. The publisher broadcasts it out. You will probably get the message. And if you don't get the message, that's a you problem. And so it's much faster. Because it's not reliable, what most implementations for market data do is they publish it twice. There's an A channel and a B channel. And the idea is, well, if you're going to lose one message in several million, and there's going to be several billion messages a day, you're going to lose 100 to 1,000 messages every day, and that's just normal. Mm-hmm. And if we're getting them twice, you can get them from the other channel. So if you're listening to both channels, you got the A channel, the B channel. If you miss it on A, the odds of you missing the exact same message on the B are very low. But if you do miss the A and the B, then there's a re-request service where you can say, I am missing message 1, 2, 3, 4, and it runs on TCP and it's reliable, and it will give you the missing message.
And you know that you missed it because you just get the next sequential number and there's a missing one in between.
Correct. Every message in market data systems has a sequential integer ID. It's a long, fun times. They used to be int. They are a long, and it tells you like this is the message. 1, 2, 3, and you have to go in order, and you have to get every single one. But there's no guarantee you'll get them. Mm-hmm. There's no guarantee they'll arrive in order. So it's on you, the consumer, to reassemble them on your side. And the messages are deltas. So it's like you have to go from the beginning to get state. You have to say, okay, I started with 1, add an order, execute this order, remove this order, add this, boop, 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 boop. And so you can go billions deep on state, and you can only get there by replaying the messages in order.
Got it.
And this isn't true for every exchange. Some of them offer what's called a snapshot service. It says, here is state as of message, 1 billion. This is state. You say, okay, cool. I've got all the messages from 1 billion. I can start from 1 billion instead of starting from 1. Something like that. Anyway. So the way everyone sane does this, is you have a system called a sequencer. And its job is to say, this is message 1, this is message 2, this is message 3. And the sequencer sends the messages out to the broadcasters. Mm-hmm. Broadcaster A, broadcaster B, and the broadcasters simply broadcast the message. This Canadian exchange, and I don't remember which one anymore because it's been many, many years.
Convenient.
Convenient, yes. Well, so that's part of the joke. It's a Canadian exchange, but you don't know her. Anyway, it's a Breakfast Club joke.
I'm gonna go watch it after this.
You would have really enjoyed it as a teenager. It would have moved you. Okay. As an adult, I don't know how it holds up.
Taking a note here.
Taking a note.
Breakfast Club. Go ahead.
Um, they decided that they had that they had a guaranteed reliable messaging protocol. And so they skipped having a sequencer and they published the messages unsequenced to the
Mm,
publishers. So instead of having a system in the middle that says, this is message one, this is message two, this is message three, and then sending that to the publisher so that the sequencer is the source of truth, they sent the messages without a number to both of their publishers on the belief that their protocol was absolutely reliable,
hmm.
and therefore the A and B publishers could sequence it and everything would be fine. And you can guess, because I'm telling the story, that it was not always
Okay.
fine. And at least weekly, often daily, one of their systems would miss a message. And at which point, you would discover, if you went back and you looked at what you had recorded from their A and B, they didn't agree. They were off by one.
Right.
So message 100 from one system would be message 99 from the other.
Because you left it
And
up to the A and B channels to write the number.
right, because you left it up to the A and B channels to write the number, and they made a mistake. They lost a message. And you've got now these dueling sources of truth. And so I'm the developer, I'm responsible for market data. And what would happen is the system would be chugging along, traders would be trading, and then all of a sudden everything would go haywire. And what happened is I was listening to A channel or B channel, there was a gap, I switched to the other channel, and those messages were out of sequence. So either I had double played at least one message, or I had missed the message.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, now I've got really random, weird things happening. And then if I switch back to A, I have the same problem again. So I've got this new weird thing, and now my state is completely screwed up. And there's no way to fix it other than to stop trading for the day, basically, or just accept that you've got some bad state, and you know the traders are humans. They have to know, okay, there's something wrong with what I'm. The computer screen in front of me is a lie of some amount, and I'm going to have to make a trade, move millions of dollars around anyway. And people love that idea. And so, after talking with the exchange and explaining this problem to them and being told, oh, no, we're using this protocol package from a company called Tibco. It's absolutely reliable. What you were describing cannot possibly happen. And being unable to convince them, absolutely unable to, right? I just could not convince them that this system was wrong. Like, no, it's on your side. And what my eventual fix was, it was to have another system reading the A and B channels and comparing the messages. And the moment that this system said, hey, there's been a gap, it would flag the main system and say, okay, channel B is no longer trustworthy. Do not use it. If you miss something on channel A, you're going to have to go back to the TCP re-requester, which will slow everything down, but it won't be wrong.
Right.
And since you're only missing a message every million to 10 million messages, it's only a few times a day, which is why it could go so long before you had this problem. And that was sort of the end of the, they never fixed it. They refused to acknowledge it. They never fixed it in the time that I was at this job, I guess I should say. I'm sure now either the exchange is gone or they fixed it, because I'm sure it's been rewritten several times in the last 15, 16 years.
Never rewrite.
Never rewrite. Unless fix your bugs. Well, computer architectures are very different now than they used to be. This is back in the day of single cores with single machines with single cores. And so it wouldn't make... Anyway, you do things differently now because the hardware looks different. But the fundamentals are still the same.
One thing I was thinking of first was like, okay, if you want to know which messages, like if you're missing the correct number to stamp it with, I was thinking, okay, well, why don't you just like hash what's inside? That way, like if you get a duplicate one, that it matched the same one as before. but then that doesn't take care of the fact that you're applying the delta to it, and the hash would not take into account for the delta. So, and as you're explaining it, I'm trying to find like how would I would have solved it before Jeffrey tells me the answer.
Oh,
What he
sorry.
did.
Well, you couldn't take the delta because you couldn't hash it because the sequence number was part of the message, and the sequence number is different, so the hash would never match. You
Right,
could
but
take
before
it. I
that,
guess
because it sounded like before you give it a number, then you put it to A and B channels, and the issue is like the second part was like you were giving it the A and B channels to assign the number themselves.
right.
So I was just trying to play through what would I do in this case, but it sounds like it wouldn't have worked anyway the way I was thinking of it.
Right. I think I did actually hash them to compare. So it's like, okay,
Hmm.
message, 1, 2, 3, 4, hash it, compare the hash to the other message. And if it didn't match,
They're
then
out of sync.
declare they're out of sync.
Hmm.
Stressful times. But
So was your inability to convince them that there was a bug was after you like what was the part of your exit there, or did you continue along after you tried to fix that, or what was play me through like the outro of this bug.
the outro of the bug would have been if they fixed it. So if from my side, I couldn't fix it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The data is corrupt by the time it gets to me. The only thing I can do is defend my system.
Right.
Right. And the way to fix it, or in this case, the problem is they had two sources of truth in the belief that the two sources of truth could never get out of sync. And I will give you a truism that I have found. If you have two sources of truth, one of them is wrong.
That is also a good quote.
I can pretty much guarantee you that if you have two sources of truth, one of them will be wrong. Or at least that they won't agree.
So what happened after? You continued along with your fix on your end and let them be wrong?
Yeah, I couldn't convince them otherwise, so I continued along with the fix. And then once I had it, it worked reasonably well of, okay, the monitor system was always ahead because it was just comparing the two A and B channels.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't actually trying to publish the deltas and maintain book state. It wasn't trying to maintain state, so it was always faster. Right. And so it would always catch the out of sync problem and notify the other system, hey, don't flip your channel.
This is classic. I feel like there's a lot of third-party software that we use that have their own like intricacies that we have to work around. Like they've got their own bugs. We discover the bug. Maybe we flag it, but it might take them a year to get to that bug because no one else cares. So then we depend on them having that bug and code around it. Then what happens when they fix it? Maybe that's for next episode.
Yes. I accidentally did that last week where I was rushing out a bug fix on Friday during the code freeze before I went away on vacation for a week. As one does.
Perfect storm.
Right. What could possibly go wrong? And what possibly went wrong is I accidentally fixed a bug that I didn't notice where it was an endpoint. So I was fixing something in the framework that ran these endpoints, and they would return JSON. And part of the JSON payload, it would tell you the count of the total number of rows that were available. And due to a long-standing bug that I didn't notice, about 2/3 of those counts were ints. Were strings. Were quoted ints. Right? So it was, quote, int number, unquote. And I accidentally fixed it in my work, and they just became ints instead of strings. The number was the same, but I had changed the JSON from string to int. Yep. And I didn't catch it because I was hurrying because it was 4:00 on a Friday during a code freeze before I went on vacation for a week.
Oh, no.
And so that caused an incident. Because some of our customers had written their parsers in a way that expected strings, and they were very tight on it. And so
they were reliant upon our bug. Yeah, exactly.
Right. And so
Let's bundle that and some other stories for next episode, because I know we wanted to do one on what happens when you fix bugs.
Yes. All right. We are off topic. Should we leave it here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you all for listening. I'm Jeffrey Sherman.
And I'm Isaac Askew, and this is Never Rewrite.